Hi everyone, Jamie here from Sharonatsea Travel. Thanks so much for stopping by the channel today. I'm here to get you up to speed on what's new in the world of cruising. But before I do that, I just want to take a moment to acknowledge those that have been affected by Hurricane Helene. That storm was unbelievable and had terrible effects on the southeast part of the country. As we sit here and talk about cruising, we're reminded that our issues are of minuscule proportion compared to what people have gone through and are still going through in the aftermath of this storm. Many of our friends and family in the cruising community have been affected, and we hope things are getting better and there is some light coming at you from behind all of those clouds. Now let's get this little cruise show on the books and prepare to set sail. Now first, we're going to get checked in with kind of our top story. This week, port workers from East and Gulf Coast ports from Maine to Texas went on strike as they negotiate a wage dispute, as well as concerns regarding port automation that will eventually start replacing port workers. Tens of thousands of longshoremen affiliated with the ILA, International Longshoremen Association, set up picket lines and dug in their heels as they began the strike. Now, this strike can potentially have a tremendous impact on imported goods received at U.S. ports, but the question we're all asking is, will this strike affect cruisers and cruising in general? The answer given to that question by ILA President Harold Daggett is a resounding no. Daggett has stated that the strike will not impact any military cargo or cruise ships, and that ILA workers will continue to work with cruise lines at all ILA ports, so as not to affect the tens of thousands of Americans that have booked cruise vacations in advance of the strike. This statement has been confirmed to be true by numerous major East Coast cruise home ports. Looks like this strike can and will have a huge impact on the economy and trade in general, but for the moment, cruisers can move forward with their vacation plans with confidence. Now that is definitely good news for everybody, including us, since Sharon and I will be heading to Fort Lauderdale, Florida in 2 weeks for our next cruise, and we'll let you know how that all works out. All right, next up, let's embark with some news from Carnival Cruise Line's ambassador, John Heald. Poor John is like a piñata, always taking a beating, and today's no exception. In his latest post, it looks like a guest known as just T has threatened John and said she will put an entire Christmas tree where the sun doesn't shine if Christmas decorations are not put up in time for her cruise on the Carnival Jubilee. Now, traditionally, Carnival begins decorating their cruise ships in the beginning of December for the holiday and leaves those decorations up until New Year's Day. We've experienced this on a few of our own New Year's Eve cruises, and we love the holiday feeling we get when we board the ship at the end of December and we can still see all of the decorations there. But I will make this promise. If they make any changes to the schedule, we will not threaten John Heald with any physical violence, including Christmas trees or any other holiday decorations. Now, while we're here together, let's make a quick stop at guest services and see what Sharon has for us.
I do have something to share with you today. There is an update from Norwegian Cruise Line, and this started October 1st. They have made some changes and enhanced their Free at Sea program. It is actually not called Free at Sea anymore. It is called More at Sea. So they are adding some additional little perks to the package there. So it started on October 1st, 2024, and it will go into effect for any sailings embarking on or after January 1st of 2025. So if you're in that, you're going to want to read up and see what is included. So the two main things that everyone is probably going to be the most excited about, and that's the drink and dining package, as usual. It will include now more premium brand drinks. You will no longer be capped out at like a $15 limit on your drinks like you were at the Free at Sea package. So you can drink all that premium alcohol you want. Also, the dining package will add some additional specialty dining nights as well as extra, I think, appetizers and desserts. Now that sounds pretty tasty. I don't know who could eat all that food, but I'm sure somebody will. Anyways, so that's pretty exciting. Now, so far, we don't know if that's going to change the cost of the cruises, or the cruises will tend to go up a little. They have said that they're not going to increase, but we'll see what really happens. I will say that the gratuities, the drink and dining package gratuities, now I'm not talking about the service gratuities on your entire cruise, but the drink and dining gratuities are going to go up a little bit. And that's because you're going to be having more specialty dining nights, so you're going to be incurring more service, but they will be going up slightly. So you can plan on that. So the only other thing really worth mentioning is the Wi-Fi a little bit of Wi-Fi that you get in this package. It is going to be included now for all guests in the room, not just guests 1 and 2 anymore. So that's pretty cool. And I do have this little sheet here. I'm going to see if Jamie can kind of put this up and kind of hold it on there for a few minutes so you can look at it. But it does compare the free at sea with the more at sea and what all the extra goodies are going to be included now. So I hope this was helpful if you have a Norwegian cruise coming up in your future. And now I'm going to turn it back over to Jamie.
Thanks so much, Sharon. That was some fantastic cruise information. Now, if you're enjoying the content, please don't forget to subscribe, like the video, turn on notifications so you don't miss future content, and feel free to share it with friends and family if you think it might be something they'll enjoy or it might help them out on their next cruise. Now, before we finish today's cruise for the news, we need some LNP. No, I'm not talking about late night pizza. I'm talking about our last news point. Now, this next story is a little bit of a bellyache. More than 180 people got sick in a gastrointestinal outbreak during a Royal Caribbean international cruise that ended this past Friday. Among the almost 2,200 passengers on Royal's Radiance of the Seas ship sailing from Vancouver on an Alaskan sailing, 180 people reported being ill along with 3 crew members. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, their main symptoms were abdominal cramps, diarrhea, headaches, and muscle aches. That does not sound like a good time. The health agency listed the causative agent as unknown. Right? They're saying, well, we don't know where that began. Hopefully they find out. The CDC has logged 10 outbreaks of gastrointestinal illness on cruises that met its threshold for public notification so far in 2024. As a reminder, when a cruise ship has at least 3% of its passengers reporting an illness to the medical staff, they must notify the CDC and begin an investigation into the cause of the illness. Now, norovirus was listed as the causative agent in every instance but 3 of those 10 so far this year. Finally, let's debark today's sailing with a question that came up during a recent live stream that Sharon and I had. And that question is, when cruising and doing so much walking on the cruise ship and in cruise ports, do you wear a certain type of shoe for extra comfort? I know it sounds crazy having shoe talk on a cruise-oriented live stream, but we discuss the importance of having the right shoes for your cruise, since quite often you're walking way more than you usually would at home. And let's face it, none of us are getting any younger, and we need to pay attention to our feet, knees, and hips. And that usually starts with comfortable shoes. So let us know your thoughts about cruise shoes in the comments below the video. And while you're there, do me a favor, leave us, or really leave Sharon, because I know that's the one that you want your questions answered by. Leave her a cruise question, and maybe your question will be featured in the next video. Now, as a reminder, for all of your cruising needs, please contact our beloved captain, Sharon from Sharonatsea Travel at sharonatsea@gmail.com. That's right, sharonatsea@gmail.com. We always appreciate it. Start the planning for your next cruise adventure right now. Well, that's a wrap for our little cruise show today. We hope you enjoyed covering a couple of hot topics in the cruising world. Thanks so much for joining me, and I'll see you guys in the next video.